Ann again from What's Up Family Home. Welcome back to my kitchen, and today I'm going to make some honey mustard pork chops. I've got some egg and milk, I've got some seasoned flour, and I've got some panko breadcrumbs, and I've got salt and pepper in all of it, and I'm just going to dredge it in the flour, and then I'll put it in the milk and egg mixture, and then coat it in the panko breadcrumbs. And I've got some tinfoil laid out, and I saw somebody do this, and that way you don't have to worry about cleaning up a pan with all that flour and all those breadcrumbs on there. You can just toss it in the trash can, and it worked really good. I will do that from now on. It's a lot less messy. And I'm just going to coat that in the breadcrumbs, and I'm going to put this in the air fryer. I'm just going to spray it with some avocado spray to make sure all those breadcrumbs get nice and coated, and it'll be really good and crispy. I love my air fryer in the oven. It's just so convenient, and you can fit more in there than you can in that little basket that you have on a regular air fryer. So it automatically goes to 425, so I'm going to put that in there. And then I've got some broccoli from the garden that I've just got some water in there, and I'm just steaming with some salt and pepper. And then I cut some potatoes, and I've got some seasoning salt and pepper, and I think some ranch powder and some parsley. And I'm just going to coat that in that mixture. And then I'm going to get my oil heated up. I've got my cast iron skillet. I'm going to put the potatoes in there and just get them browned on both sides. And I've got the pan really hot, and I'm just going to put a lid on there and let those cook until they get nice and tender. Alright, my broccoli's done, so I've just left some of the water in there, and I'm going to add some of the Velveeta knockoff, and it makes a nice little cheese sauce on the broccoli. I think I put a little bit too much, I left it a little bit too much water in there. But now my potatoes and my pork chops are done. They cooked maybe about 15 minutes. You don't want to overcook those pork chops. They were already thin, so. And then I've got my broccoli and cheese. So good. And then I just mixed up half honey, half mustard, and just mix the sauce with it, and just make it as sweet or as tangy as you want. So there's my pork chop with that delicious sauce. Those potatoes were really good too. The cheese sauce was a little bit thin, but we really enjoyed this meal. Alright, tonight for dinner I'm going to make like a chicken Japanese stir fry. And I just defrosted some chicken from my freezer. And I've just got my cast iron skillet with some hot oil, and I'm just going to brown the chicken just until it's done. I'm not using an exact recipe, but I'm going to use some of the Asian wing sauce, some soy sauce, and some teriyaki sauce. And I'm just going to wait for my chicken to cook, and then I'll start on the veggies. I've got some onion, some zucchini, mushroom, and I will cook that after the chicken's done. Okay, my chicken's done, so I put that in a bowl, and now I'm going to start on my veggies, and I'm just going to stir them around until they're done. Alright, those vegetables are cooked. They have a nice golden color on them, so I'm going to go ahead and add the chicken back into the pan. Just stir that around. I'm not using a specific recipe. I'm just trying to use up what I can out of the kitchen. And I've done really good using that chicken. I've used a lot of chicken out of the freezer. And now I've got some soy sauce and some teriyaki sauce. That teriyaki sauce was not very sweet. And this is the wing sauce. I'm just going to add it to taste, and it gave it a good sweetness to it. But it was really spicy though. But I'm just going to stir that around and get everything coated, and then just let it hang out, and I'm going to make a yum yum sauce to go with it. I've got a half a cup of mayonnaise in here. This is a half a tablespoon of ketchup, half a tablespoon of sugar. I've got a teaspoon of rice wine vinegar, and it calls for mirin. I don't even know what that tastes like, so I don't even know how to add that to this, so I'm not going to. And I'm not going to half the spices. I'm just going to add it. And I will link the recipe so you can make the full recipe. It calls for garlic powder, onion powder. It's going to eyeball it. It didn't say it to add as much as the garlic and the onion powder, so I'm just going to do a few little sprinkles. So I'm going to mix that up. And it also said to add some water, so I'm going to mix this and see kind of what it looks like. I made this years ago, and it was really good. I can't remember if I pinned that to Pinterest. I think I might have, but I didn't really look for it, but this looks pretty good. And it says you can also add hot sauce. And I've also added chili sauce to this, or like a Asian wing sauce, and that's really good too. So it does not have enough sugar in it because they are pretty sweet. I don't think it has enough garlic powder, so I added some more. A little bit, just a little bit of ketchup. And it looks more of the color of a shrimp sauce, to me anyway. I'm going to put this in the refrigerator and let those flavors get melded together. Alright y'all, this is done. This looks amazing. It looks better than any restaurant that I've ever been in. So I'm going to get the rice ready and we'll get ready to eat. Alright y'all, I made some minute rice. If you want to go fancier and make some fried rice, you can, but I'm just using plain old rice. I'm going to take my vegetables and pour them over the top. I wish y'all could just smell this. I'm going to add some of that wonderful sauce over here. Here's that delicious yum yum sauce. I did put some water in it. Let me bring my steaming bowl of goodness over here. Just drizzle some over the top. And this is over the top because this is over the top good. I had a little bit in a bowl earlier, and this stuff is delicious. This yum yum sauce is spot on. So this is what we're having for dinner, hibachi or teriyaki chicken, whichever you like. This is delicious. What? All right, y'all, tonight, for what's for dinner, as you can see, the grandkids are here, so we're just having manwich. So I bought this Sloppy Joe sauce from Aldi. I've got my pound of ground beef from our cow that we bought, the half a cow. I'm gonna let this simmer, and we'll compare this to manwich and see which one we like better. And then we're just gonna have it with some chips, Ruffles chips. Okay, I took a bite, and I like it. It's not quite as strong as manwich, not as flavorful, but close enough that I would buy this if it's a lot cheaper. I think it was like 87 cents, so use your judgment, but I probably couldn't tell that it was not manwich. So that's what we're having for dinner tonight. Tonight is just another easy meal that I got from the freezer. I took out some ground beef, thawed that out, cooked that with some of my sauce from the pantry, and cook the noodles and just combine it together, and it's just a quick and easy weeknight meal. I didn't make any kind of sides with it or anything because it's after 8 o'clock, so that's what we had for dinner this night. Alright y'all, this is the last meal of the week. I'm going to make like a sausage stir fry. I'm using some Polska kielbasa sausage, and I've cut up some potatoes, and I'm just going to cook those in my pressure cooker. I've got some cabbage from the freezer that I'm going to use up. I've got an onion. I've cut up the sausage, and I've also cut up a couple zucchini. And I'm going to start off with the onions. I'm just going to cook those in my cast iron skillet with a little bit of avocado oil and get those a little bit tender. And then I'm going to add my sausage. Just stir that around there and get that heated in. I've got the zucchini. I'm going to add those to the pan. That's about the only thing that really needs to be cooked in this whole dish. And I'm going to add my cabbage. This was from my fall garden, and I need to get all that out of there, out of the freezer, so I can fill it up with this year's stuff from the garden. So everything else is cooked. I'm just going to heat that through, get that stirred in. And this was so good. It might not look the most beautiful, but it was really, really good. And it was really an easy meal for a weeknight dinner, and I used up a lot of stuff out of my refrigerator and my pantry, so that was a win for me. So we really enjoyed this, and I really liked all the meals we had this week. Especially I got to clean out my freezer and my pantry. So I hope you guys enjoyed these week of meals from my pantry and my freezer, and I'll see you guys again in the next video.